So in the previous sessions, we discussed about different kind of species interactions, how different organisms and communities interact within each other. Now it's important to understand, or it's interesting to understand that how does that interaction actually happen. So if there is, let's say, competition happening, then how to deal with competition. Animals have different strategies to deal with competition. And if there's predation going on, then they have different strategies to avoid the predation. And so comes the co-evolution. So there is, a race between prey and predators, the competitors. Everyone is trying to achieve a particular position. Everyone is trying to grow up. Everyone is trying to survive. So all of this interaction with an evolutionary perspective, it is interesting to understand all of that. So we'll start with agonistic behaviors, or it is a kind of behavior which is related to, competition or stress, usually aggression. So agonistic behavior is usually between contestants, that is within a competition, which can be for a food resource or if it can be for a mate, and it is usually around the same species, but can be also multi-species interaction. Okay, it usually includes collective responses of neurohormonal systems and chronological events, as in it depends on the neurohormonal axis of aggression. Obviously, the stress comes from, different kind of hormones like testosterone and cortisols. And apart from that, the release of these hormones are regulated not only by physiology but also by different times of the year or seasons, right? With respect to that, agonistic behavior simply refers to the behavior of aggression or the behavior that leads to a response to a threat. Okay, so there are different strategies when organisms faces competition. It can be either offensive where they are trying to attack the other organism, and it's trying to dominate, where it can be defensive, or it can be about escape, where an organism try to escape the entire competition with the particular resource or without the particular resource. So there can be different type of strategies. Apart from that, the behavior that is included in an agonistic interaction includes posing a threat or showing a threat. It can be alarming the other one. It can be, posing as a higher organism or bigger organism to pose a threat. It can be aggression, dominance toward other organisms, or it can be submission. When alpha, let's say, is dominating, the other one submits. So these are the collective influences or collective interactions that happens in agonistic behavior. So when we talk about agonistic behavior, we majorly focus on aggression as well. So aggression is an individual or a collective social interaction that has the intention to inflict a damage. So aggression always comes with the intention to inflict damage, right? So it is usually targeted to harm the other individual in a competition. So it is usually mediated by neuromodulatory systems that includes hormonal neural systems as well as different biological clocks or the chronological systems. Apart from that, it can be influenced by genetic factors as well. So aggression can be a genetic factor and epigenetic factor, to be concise, and it comes with different generation. It can be culturally or societally inherited as well. So if the entire societal system is of anger, of aggression, then the individual who is produced also is imprinted with anger. Okay, so that sort of aggression retains. So few groups of, let's say, organisms, let's say a group of elephants, there is one group of elephant species region A, and then one is group of elephant is in region B. So it is seen that the region A elephants are usually more aggressive, then all the individuals that come out from region A will be expected to be aggressive because they have been taught to be aggressive. So, and if region B is kind of docile, they are more prone to humans, then that will be the case. Okay, so that sort of aggression is also societal or cultural. Same goes for any other kind of organism. Different organisms puts on different pressure or stress to which people or animals respond with respect to aggression. So what is the impact of aggression? It can be direct, okay, inflicting direct damage. Like how can be aggression impacted? It can be direct, that is inflicting direct damage, or it could be indirect. Like sometimes you get aggressive when someone touches your stuff, okay, or takes your position. So that sort of interaction is also, reason for aggression, or the impact of aggression also comes from there. So what are the reason for aggression? It could be for a purpose, specific purpose, that it could be, goal oriented, focusing on something to achieve. For focusing on something to achieve, you need to be aggressive, right? Predatory interaction where the predator needs to be aggressive in order to catch the prey. Okay, so that sort of interaction requires aggression. So you specifically are aggressive for that goal. When the goal is achieved, you have no longer aggression. Then it could be responsive, which is also called as effective or retaliatory response. It is sort of an emotional response which you show in response to someone else's response. Okay, so that sort of aggression is called responsive aggression, where it talks about emotional provocative response. If someone provoked your anger, or you got emotional and angry with respect to some stuff or some particular thing which was responded or which was affected by other organism, then that sort of interaction is called responsive. So it happened due to an event, whereas purposeful is happening because of a particular goal. Okay, responsive is happening because of certain event that happened and you are responding to that with an aggression. So these are different kind of aggression with respect to different types. Then moving forward, there could be different kind of aggression. It could be anti-predator aggression, when a, a prey shows aggression towards the predator in order to save themselves, survivor. And then defensive aggression, it's a kind of aggression which is similar to that of anti-predator, but need not to be only predator. So defensive aggression can be again defense against a competition. Okay, so yeah, that sort of. Then predatory aggression, which is shown by the predator. Anti-predator aggression is shown by the prey, whereas predatory aggression is shown by the predator. Then is dominant aggression or dominance aggression, which is showed by individuals who are dominant. There is inter-male aggression. It need not to be only dominant and submissive. There are sometimes, there are sometimes non-dominant interactions where the male of different stature or same stature may be involved in a competition. That is called inter-male aggression. Then comes maternal aggression, which is usually to save their brood or to save their child. Then comes species specific aggression. Few species show aggression towards few other species. Like, need not to be only predator or prey or competitor. They have this innate aggression for other species. So that sort of interaction is called species specific aggression. Now there is sex related aggression, which is shown in spite of specific mating seasons. You can tell, like elephant in a mast. So that sort of interaction happens because of the mating season or mating particular rituals. Then comes territorial aggression, which is shown to save the territory. There is isolation induced aggression, which is pretty common. If you have heard about, previously people used to drop a dog in a ditch, so that because of they getting isolated, they got angry. So that sort of the practices has been common in humans, as well as it is expected that stress when in isolation induces anger. So isolation induced aggression is also one sort of aggression that is faced by different kind of animals as well. Then there is irritable aggression, which happens due to frustration within or outside the organism. Then comes brain stimulation induced aggression. So there are many kind of possible cases where brain stimulated aggression, it can be also considered as a disorder, but it happens when an organism, like we in animals, has that sort of interaction. When a rabid dog is usually seen to get angry and bite everyone, but it is induced by the neurohormonal systems. Also, like humans who are facing different kind of diseases or disorders also have that sort of problems. In, like, let's say if someone is a psychopath, so that sort of interaction or that sort of aggression is induced by the brain and not by certain factors, right? So that is brain stimulated aggression.